What you consume is changing you, and you probably can't feel it happening. I remember watching this Pokemon YouTuber back in the day. He was really loud, charismatic, the king of the whole community back then. And at the time, I was very quiet, shy, and I didn't have much self-esteem. But I noticed after watching a bunch of his stuff every night when I came home from university that I was starting to get a bit louder. I still have some of his intro phases in my head, even though it's been probably 8 years or something. He was like, back again, once again, today, and like super loud. And I really admired him for his energy. I wanted some of that, just a little bit. I also loved his friend group. I thought they were so much fun. I would love to be his friend. And I subconsciously started to take on more and more of his energy. But what I didn't really notice until people mentioned it to me is that you're starting to say some of the catchphrases that this guy is saying. And then I thought about the fact that I was the one that picked him, but I didn't actually choose which parts of him I'd end up with. And I don't think I got the ones I was necessarily going for, because he tended to swear a lot and use words that I don't think was quite a good thing for me to use. Let me just say it like that. So I liked his energy, but I didn't think it was good for me to adopt his language. And I think that's very typical. When you watch somebody for a long time, you tend to take on some of their demeanor, some of their opinions, and you might not notice that in the moment, because it just sneaks up on you. If it becomes a habit that every time you eat dinner, you watch a bit of this person, then you will take on some of their life philosophy, and suddenly it might hit you later down the road that you've been indoctrinated by this person and their values, and now you're starting to question, what is my own values here? Am I just getting brainwashed by this person into something that might not actually be something I want? There's a very good Pokemon analogy for this, which is EVs, because every battle trains a hidden stat depending on what you fought, and the game never shows you a concrete number. So you can have two identical Pokemon at the exact same level, and they end up completely different. The only difference is what they happen to run into. For me, this was the case with this YouTuber. I didn't pick that personality and everything that came with it. I just kept showing up to the same place. And that basically meant that I had to unlearn some of the language I had picked up from him. After that Pokemon guy, I migrated into dating content. Completely different guy. This guy was kind of a weirdo. He was very open about it, that he was the class clown, and he was really good at what he did. And I kind of felt like a weirdo too, so he really resonated with me. And I actually decided to pay him as my coach back in the day. There, he taught me a lot about social dynamics and how to go out and talk to people. A lot of things about women, about myself. He actually mentioned in one of our calls that he thought that I was a bit insecure about being direct and being sexual. And he was completely right. I felt a bit ashamed for some reason about it. But the thing is, I had watched so much of his stuff that I also took on some of his more negative traits. And it's probably the reason why I decided to stay single for a very long time. Because I thought I needed to date more in order to grow into the person I wanted to be. And this is something I didn't notice until I stopped watching him. And I started gathering perspectives from others. I started journaling about this. I realized, I've kind of been indoctrinated into thinking that I should absolutely stay single. Being in a relationship is something that I don't want. It wasn't necessarily true. It was just him talking. And the funny thing is, he's now married, I believe, and has a kid on the way. So his opinion also changed as he got older. But my point about this is that because I followed him for so long, I took on both good and bad traits from him that I had to unlearn later when I actually met my current girlfriend and had to start considering maybe I actually do want a relationship. Ever since that happened, I've become much more self-aware, and I'm actually noticing that I'm kind of doing it right now. I've been watching this guy in the self-improvement space that I used to watch a couple of years ago. And again, I think he has some great traits, but he also has some lesser good traits. So this time, I'm just taking a step back and noticing if the message that I'm getting doesn't serve me where I am right now, then I'm not gonna integrate it into my own life. But whatever advice actually does work and does resonate with me, that's the kind of advice I want to implement into my life. And I want you, the viewer, to think about this, because you're consuming me right now. Hopefully this is giving you some insights, some warmth, some ideas, whatever you get from watching me. And you're probably watching other people as well. Think about the worldview and experience that I'm putting into your brain. Is it actually useful to you? Or are you just taking on my worldview because you find some warmth in watching these videos and you feel like this is kind of like listening to a big brother? Just try to notice that. Because I think the takeaway from this video is that you should not try to find the best source to consume from. You just want to notice what kind of thoughts is running in your mind when you watch these different videos. Maybe there's something that's really useful to you now, and maybe there's a couple life lessons that doesn't resonate with you right now that would potentially be useful for you later down the road. I'm actually kind of curious if you used to watch some of the stuff that I used to watch. The guy I mentioned in the beginning, he was in a big controversy within the PokeTuber community. I stopped watching him back then. I don't even think he's making videos anymore. But back when I was much younger, he was a big help and made me really happy when I watched his videos because he just came onto the videos with such a good energy. So yeah, if you know, you know. Let me know in the comments if you actually know the guy, or you might have some playthroughs you used to watch. It was a good time. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you liked it, please leave a like rating as well. It does help the video out a lot to get pushed out to more people.